Hello everyone. So today we are going to see CRUD operation using Hibernate 6. So let's go to the Eclipse ID, go to the files, go to the new and go to the maven project. So we have to create here a maven project, click on next. We have to choose here in the catalog, you have to choose the internal. In the filters, you have to choose the quick start, click on next. Then group ID you have to take as a com.test and artifact ID I will take here as a Hibernate 6 CRUD operations. Also package I will take as a com.test and click on finish, right? So it will take some time to create our maven project. So here you can see our project is created. So let me minimize this and expand our project. Here we have to go to the pom.xml. Here is the pom.xml. The next thing what you have to do is you have to add a maven compiler plugin. Go to the Apache maven project. You have to see here a maven compiler plugin. So here we go. We have to copy this maven compiler source and target. Go here and in the line number 14 press shift enter and below this we have to paste. Then you can see that here 1.9 we'll use here 1.9 version, right? Then click on save. So we'll get this pom.xml code in the description. Go to the browser, go to the mavenrepository.com. Here you have to search for Hibernate ORM Hibernate core. Here I am using 6.2.0 final version. Then you have to copy this, then go to the Eclipse ID and in the below dependency of JUnit you have to paste. Oh, I think that is not copied. Copy, go to here, paste here, Ctrl Shift F for formatting. Hibernate core we have added. Then go to the mavenrepository.com. Here you have to choose here I am using Lombok dependency. If you didn't have Lombok, you can add manually getter and setter methods. Here I am using project Lombok. So let me copy this Lombok, go here below Hibernate core, paste, Ctrl Shift F, format. Then Lombok is added, and last but not least is MySQL connector J. As I am using here a MySQL database for creating the tables, so here I have to use a MySQL connector J. So if you want to use Oracle, you have to take the JDBC driver for Oracle. That might be OJDBC 8, 14 according to your version. So here I am using MySQL, so that's why I have to use the MySQL character J. Then go to the Eclipse ID below the Lombok, paste, Ctrl Shift F. Now let's save this. So it will take some time to download this dependency. Now after that, right click on this our project, go to the maven and click on update project and click on OK. Make sure that you should update and you should see here a Java SC9 version, right? Then next thing is we have to create a packages. com.test, right click, go to the package com.test.entity entity. Right click on this com.test, go to the new, go to the package, and here we have to create com.test.ut. Enter. Then after that, right click on this project, then click on refresh, then go to the entity, go to the new, go to the class, and here we have to create a one class called student, right? Created entity. Now here I will take here a private integer student ID, then private string student name, then private string student address, private, private. Let's save this. Now let me take here @ID. Yes, @ID, and you should import this by Ctrl Shift O jakarta.persistence.id. So why we take here ID? Because we have to take this SID as a primary key. Now next thing is @generated value. So we have to auto increment this. We didn't want to give it manually, so that's why I'm using a @generated value. Then strategy, and in the case of MySQL you have to choose here a identity, right? Let's save this. Now Here we have to create a getter and setter method. So we have already added the long box, so I will use here @data. Then we have to create a table for this, so we have to take here @entity annotation, and it will be jakarta.persistence.entity. Then if you want to modify the name of the table, you can use the annotation table, and you can give the according to you whatever table name you want. So here I will take st tab. If you want to take a column name according to your preferences, you can choose the column annotation, and you can give the name. So you can do that. Here I will not take any name. If you want to edit this, if you want another name of column other than this yes name, then you can give by using @column, right? So this is done @data. Here I will take all arcs constructor, no arc constructor, as we are using here a long box. So control shift O. The next thing is as we have taken the SID as a primary key, so we have to uh, create here a constructor using these two. So go to the source, I will create here a constructor, here constructor using field. I will uncheck this SID, then generate. So here we go. Next thing is util, and then go to the util, right click on this, go to the new, go to the where, yes, class. Here we'll create Hibernate util finish. So for this Hibernate util, so here is a code for Hibernate util. You will get this code in the description. So let's understand. So in the Hibernate we have three objects that is important. That is, one is configuration, next one is session factory, and next one is session. So first of all, we are creating here a variable for session factory as a static variable. We are initializing is with the null. Then we have a static block. In the static block, first of all, we'll we'll use here a configuration. So we have to create an object for configuration. Then in the configuration, here we are not using the XML based configuration. So that's why we are created here this class. Then we have to create a properties. Then we have to give the properties that is the related to the database. So here environment.url. So if I copy this, control shift T, and if we choose here an environment, let us see. So environment, so this is, you can see here at the top, here you can see it provided, this environment class provide access to the configuration property pass in the object. So this environment class is used to access the configuration properties. So that's why we are using the environment. So to access the configuration properties, we are using here environment. So this is the URL. So here we have to give the JDBC URL for MySQL. So JDBC:/MySQL: localhost 3306/new. 3306 is the port number of MySQL database. At the time of downloading, here there you can see the port number. Usually this is fixed port number, that is 3306. New is the schema name. So if I go to the MySQL workbench, you can see I have already created here a new schema. If you don't have any schema, you can go to the create new schema and click on this. Here you can give the schema name, then schema will be created. That schema you have to give in the JDBC URL. Then you have to give the username. So for to access the configuration property, that is username, you have to give environment.user, and that value will be root. So at the time of downloading MySQL, whatever username and password you have given, that you have to use. Then you have to give the password. So my database password is root and username also root. Next thing is, this is optional, show SQL. So if you want to see the SQL query that are executing by Hibernate internally on the console, then you can use this property of configuration, that is show SQL. So if you want to see the whatever SQL queries are executing, then you have to give the property as true. Then next is format SQL. This is also optional. If you want to see the SQL queries in the formatted manner in the console, then you can give this. Next one, this is very important, HVM to DDL-ITO. Here we have 4 properties. that is update. Then let me check what are the different properties we have. So here you can see I have searched for this hvm2ddl hyphen auto values. You can see that create, drop, update, and create and drop. So create means it will if the table is present, it will drop that table and it will create new. Update means if the table is already present and if you want to do some changes, then it will update that, it will not drop that if already present. And also if the table is not present, then the Hibernate will create that. So here I am using update. So according to your usage, you can choose these values, that is create, drop, create, or update. So here I am using update. So update means if table is not present, table will be created by Hibernate. If table is already present and you we have some modification in that, then it will alter that table. So that's why I am using here update. Then we have to set these properties. So how to do that? Configuration dot set properties, and we have to pass this prop. Then we have to give the annotated class. So here this is a student, we have annotated with @entity. You have to give here a configuration dot add annotated class student dot class. So in the configuration, we have to provide database related URL, username, password, and this hvm2ddl hyphen ito. Then next is we have to add the annotated class. That is about the configuration. Then from that configuration we will get the factory, that is session factory. So how to get the configuration dot build session factory, then we'll get session factory. Then here we created one method for returning the session factory. From the session factory we will get the session. So from there you can see that factory dot open session. This is the Hibernate ut. So as we are not using here XML based configuration, that's why we have used here a properties, and here we have given the annotated class as a student. Right now session factory and session is created. Now what you have to do, go to the com.test, go to the new, and here we will create insert. So here I will create main method. Then we'll take session factory equals to Hibernate util dot get session factory. Then session, let me import this session factory com dot now org dot hibernate dot session factory. Make sure that you should import this org dot hibernate dot session factory, otherwise you will get the error. Session equals to Hibernate util dot get session, right? Control Shift O. Make sure that here you will get com.mysql.cj.session and org.hibernate. You have to choose the org.hibernate session, otherwise you will get the error. Then here we will use the try with the resources. So we need not to close this object, right? Then at the end I will here a catch exception e in and e dot print stack trace. Now in order to insert the object, then we have to begin transaction session. I will take here a name as a small session dot begin transaction, right? Now we want to store the student records, right? So we have to create a student objects first of all in order to save that. So student st1 equals to new student Sam and address is Mumbai. Control Shift O for importing student, Shift Alt down, Control Alt down, Control Alt down. Then student 2 we will create, then here student 3 we will create. Sam, after that John I will take here, we will take here Brock. Then Mumbai, Pune, Nagpur, right? Now we have to save this. So save So session dot persist, we have to use the persist, not save. We use save in the Hibernate file. Here we have to use persist. Student 1, control alt down, control alt down, then student 2, then student 3, right? Now it's time to commit the transaction. So session dot get transaction dot commit, right? So first of all, what will happen after we executing this? Hibernate will check, as we are given here update property for HVM to detail auto. Hibernate will check in this new schema whether there is a table with the name st tab. There is no table in this new schema. So Hibernate will first of all create this table with the name st tab, which is having the columns sid, sname, saddress. And after that it will create a primary key as a sid, and its value will be auto incremented as we are given a generated value strategy generation type dot identity, right? Then after that, after this session dot persist, first will be Sam Mumbai and its auto increment value will be 1. Then at the second row John Pune will be stored. Then third row Brock Nagpur will be stored. Now let's execute this. Control F11. Let's see what will happen. Here we go. Here is the console, and here we go. We are seeing the SQL queries that is executed by Hibernate internally in the formatted order. So first of all, this Hibernate is creating the table with the name st tab, student id integer not null auto increment. Why? Because in the student you can see the strategy generation type identity we are taking as a what? Primary key. And why the name is student tab? Because we have in the table st tab we have given, right? Yes address, yes name, varchar, right? Then insert. Why insert? In the insert you can see that session dot persist. Why the insert query is 3 times? Because we are inserting 3 objects. Now if I go to the MySQL workbench, earlier in the tables there is no table. If I refresh here, here we go, student tab, click on this table icon, and here we go. Here we go, 1 Mumbai Sam, student address, student name, and you can see that here at the time of inserting we didn't give the student ID, it will be auto incremented 1 2 3. So this is about the insert operation. Next we will see how to retrieve the data. So I will go to the file, close all editors. Now go to the com.txt, right click on this, go to the new, go to the class, and here we will write retrieve, right? Control M and MAIN, control space, enter. Hibernate, go to the insert, control M, and what I will do, I will copy this, all this code, copy this, what happened? I think I have not taken here a main. Copy this, go to the retrieve, and here paste here, control shift F for formatting. Session factor is same, session is same, try with resources will be also same. Session dot begin transaction, this will not we have to retrieve the student information according to the ID. So I will delete the student object, and this persist also will not use here a transaction. Now student st equals to session dot get, then we have to give the class, that is student dot class, and the ID of that one. So sys out student with the ID 1 is st. Let's save this, control F11. We should get the student with the ID 1. Here we go. The query will be select where id is given. So student with the ID 1, Sam and Mumbai. So if I do here a 2, Then we'll get a student with the ID 2, control F11, and here we go, student with the 2, John Pune. So if I give here a student that is not available, so you can see the 4 ID student is not available. So if I do save this, control F11, what we'll get, here we can see null we are getting, right? So if you give here ID that is not present, then we'll get a null. So make sure that you should give the proper ID, control F11, you can get here a 2 John and what, Pune, right? Now retry is done. Next what we'll see, now we'll retry all the students. So go to the new, go to the class, here we'll try retry you all, click on finish, control M, and retry you, yeah. So I will this copy this, copy, paste. Now here we want all the students, so here we'll list of student, and list equals to session dot create query, and I will give here a from student, control shift O, jaw.util, and here we have to give the class name student dot class, and at the end dot get result list, right? So this is a HQL query we are using. So this is equivalent to select star from student tab. So I have already one video on HQL, you can watch in the Hibernate playlist. So if you want to select all, then there is no requirement of writing select star. You can directly write from, and at the place of table name you have to give the entity class name, that is annotated class name, right? Then after that we have to give this annotated class name. So in our case, in the entity, you can see that we have annotated it with the @entity. That's why in the retry all, after this HQL query we have to give this. Then from this we have to write here a get result list, then we'll get the list. Now we'll print list dot for each system dot out colon println, control F11. Here we can see select star, and you can see Sam, John and Brock, ID 1, 2, 3, right? So this is a way you can retrieve all the student. Now we'll perform update operation. Right click on this com.txt, go to the new, go to the class. Here we'll take update, right? Control M, main, control space enter, go retry you, session, copy this, go here, paste here, control shift F, format, then delete this. Now we have to update. So begin transaction session dot begin transaction, then get the student. First of all we have to get the student, then we have to set the value whatever we want to update. So what we'll do, so here Sam address is Mumbai, so we have to change to this to Delhi. So how can we do that? Let's go. First of all, get the student st1 equals to session dot get student dot class and id as 1. Now set the value student dot set student address, I will take here as Delhi. So after that what you have to do is session dot get transaction dot commit. So it will commit the changes. That means it will change the address of Sam to Delhi. Earlier it was Mumbai. After executing this, it will be Delhi. Control F11. Here you can see, first of all it will get the student, and after commit it will update, right? Now if I go here and refresh, you can see that Delhi Sam is coming, right? Done. Now go here, right click, go to new, go to class and delete. Go to the update, copy this all stuff, delete, paste, control shift F, control M. So now I want to delete the student with the ID 3. How can we do that? First of all, we have to get the student. Then we have to use the method called session.remove, and we have to give the pass the object student. Third one I want to delete t3 and session. First of all, begin the transaction, then get the student, then use remove method and give whatever object we have to delete, then commit. Now if I do control F11, let's see. Here we can see, first of all it is selecting, then it is deleting. If I go here, earlier 3 records were there. If I refresh, you can see that there are only 2 records. So this is a way you can perform the CRUD operation using Hibernate 6. So for removing, we have to use session.remove. For update, you can use the HQL. You can get the first of all the student object, then you can set whatever you want to update. Then in the retry you can see that session.get method. In the retry all, we have seen HQL method. So the code will be provided in the description. So if you like this video, you can hit like button and subscribe to our channel.